being there on different platforms, be it like, like you in today's time, I feel more important than, just the design is the availability of the design, availability of your product. So you have to be literally available now. Customers don't have so much of patience. They are very prompt buyers. So you have to be available, like on we are there on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Walmart, Blinkit, Flipkart, Meesho, Ajio, literally like more or less everything in India, and of course in 17 countries, of course. So that is a different thing that whenever people think they want to buy jewelry, you should be there on literally all the platforms, whatever they can think of. So there is no escape route. Nowadays, people will not go to the retail store, buy, see, which is a piece, of maybe 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. They want to buy very quick. They're very impromptu buyers. And the kind of jewelry line which I am doing, I have seen that there is no trust or legacy or heritage is required. I think two challenges, which one, of course, I feel as a woman, it is little challenging to start any business in Indian society, especially. And also, I feel any girl you see in jewelry industry is by default a jewelry designer. I don't know why. They can't take any girl beyond jewelry designer. They think, oh, she is the one, so she's a jewelry designer. And honestly, I don't know how to sketch anything. I really can't draw anything. So people need to see beyond that. So it was difficult to deal with vendors and artisans and different wholesalers, because they used to think that she must be just doing as a hobby. Okay, so they used to just delay the work and everything. So that was a little challenging. You really have to prove yourself to make that possible. One, definitely your own choice also matters. That if I would really like to wear this pairing up with this, will I really wear this? Then I should offer the audience. If I am not okay, how can I offer this? It's okay. One is that. Secondly, I feel that you have to really look around what's happening in the world. We are lucky or unfortunate, both the ways, that we are in India, sitting whose fashion comes little later than Italy and Japan. So in that ways, you can call it fortunate, unfortunate, however. But so you need to see what is happening in Paris Fashion Week or London Fashion Week or Milan Fashion Week. What is it? The colors which are moving around. Then you have to incorporate in your same business. Going international also. This has an international taste as well. So you have to keep up with the market. Indians basically look up to the brands which have local touch but international thinking. So you have to keep up with that as well. So if I'm participating tomorrow in Lakme Fashion Week, of course that will work, but it will not really work. I feel it will only work if tomorrow I'm participating in Met Gala, making somebody wear. I'm participating in Cannes Fashion Week or London Fashion Week or Paris Fashion Week. So people know, oh, this is something, the brand making noise, too much noise. And then you're making the Indian celebrities also wear your jewelry. So I think you need to know the trends.
And a warm welcome to yet another edition of Evolve series for the month of June 2025. We are glad to see all of you all coming here, and today's special guest is Miss Aakriti Surana. A warm welcome to you, Aakriti, and we are excited about being a part of this session. So with this, I turn it over to my colleague Shiprasad, who will be interviewing you and in a way taking us through your journey. From how you started and how you've launched a brand and so many things to know about. So over to you, Shiv.
Thank you, Manisha, for a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Akriti, for joining in, and
Yes,
thank you
sure.
everyone who is tuned in today. We have with us Akriti. Now, when I read through Akriti's profile, one thing that sort of struck out for me was the fact that she has uh, dabbled with gemstones right from her early childhood. Right. So, Akriti, I'm not going to hold back from that and straight away dive in. Because of this hands-on experience that you've had very early on in your life, uh, talk to us a little bit about that. How was that experience like? But also help us understand how did that shape your understanding of gemstones and craftsmanship?
Okay, so I start from very early as I was in 10th standard. So during my 10th standard onwards only, my mother used to push me to go to office, okay, straight after school for at least 1 hour a day. And she was pretty headstrong in, that I should be there into jewelry industry only. There is no way out. There is no choice, firstly. And slowly and slowly, it's like when you don't have any choice, you just have plan A, you focus only on plan A. And gradually I started going to shows with my father, Hong Kong show, Bangkok, Vegas show. So I started gripping what is happening around. And slowly I think curiosity also started beginning, that what is the origin of the stone, what is this stone, what is the species or something, how much ever I knew about it. And so, yeah, definitely starting early really played an important role, because you grow probably with that industry. You are yourself growing. When you're already starting early, you see many things in a different angle, I feel. So, absolutely, that made a lot of difference.
I'm sure. And considering your father and mother were very supportive in you sort of building a career, I'm sure that environment was also very conducive for you to be able to grasp those things that were coming your way. Um,
Yes.
uh, Tell us a little more about what is this early. Sorry, what is the father's what is your father's business into? And I think that will also help us understand a little bit as to how that has shaped your experience.
So my father is into, again, the gemstone business of jewelry making of silver and gold, and he does the cutting manufacturing of stones to jewelry making. So it's basically mines to market at one unit, correct? And it's only export house, exporting jewelry to US, UK, to TV channels mostly. So, and then I got married to another jewelry family, which is by the name of Suranas, as my second name stands for, which is Guramal Rajmal Surana, which is had a long lineage of 300 years old, close to 300
Oof.
years old, which is into
Wow.
Jadao Kundan Meenakari. That is a different set of jewelry altogether. But having these two really, slowly formed a jewelry culture around the house, that it's only jewelry where you have to look nowhere else. So yeah, wherever you're going also for an event, you just see people jewelry. Oh, this is wearing emerald of this quality, or this is wearing tanzanite or this. So it's like, the whole world looks jewelry for you. And
What a fascinating world to live in, I must say.
yeah.
Great. No, I always remember something that Susan Jakar, GIA's president and CEO, says that when we're dealing with uh, things like diamonds and colored stones, these are so rare, these are so precious, right? And,
Yes.
these are something that Mother Nature has taken that her sweet time to conceive,
Yes.
right? And we're fortunate
Absolutely.
as gemologists, as people associated with gem and jewelry, that things that are billion years old are also something that we get to touch and feel. Great.
Yeah.
Um, uh, so, Akriti, from this amazing sort of experience that you had through your childhood, uh, talk to us what sort of inspired you to create Carolon Jewelry, and also talk a little bit about how has a GIA played a role, considering your graduate gemologist and in Thailand. How did
Mhm.
all of this sort of fall in place, and what inspired you to create Caroline Jewelry?
So it's Carillon. I know many people facing this issue, Carolyn, but it's Carillon. But
Carolon.
yes,
Okay,
no,
thank
but
you.
that's okay. That could be American and British accent. Yeah, so it's Carillon Jewelry. And so I was always involved, as I said, into my father's business, but that was only to do with mass production. and on the other side getting married into the family which was only high end jewelry. So my personal choice was very different compared to both the businesses which were already running in the family. It was always to be more with more modern wearer, more contemporary, can be minimalistic, can be maximalized, but different kind of jewelry. So that's how I think my father and my husband both motivated me to just create your own identity and start this own if you are wanted to do so. So I think that really shaped Carillon uh, very well. And GI played a very important role, I think, in two ways in my life. One career wise, and one is personal life. Personal life because I happened to attend a GI Alumni Meet in Jaipur, and there I met Prashant, who is my husband, and that's how we met. That's how we started meeting more, and we got married. So GI, I think, played a very big role that ways also in my life. And another thing in career wise was, I think, definitely. Otherwise, your GI is something which is, um, I read and inquired about GI when I was having an internship in Bangkok and in a company of a jewelry, and that's when I thought of doing GI. I thought that okay, I know so much about this jewelry and this and that, but every time there is some flaws whenever I'm doing something. I go to my father, tell him this is a design and cut, ye nahi ban sakta, ye nahi ho sakta. But why? What is the reason? No reason. So no, 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 I will tell you later. I will tell you later. So I thought, let me just put my mindfulness into doing this course and start this off. So it's when I started doing this GI course, I finished graduate gemologist. I realized that, it's like, okay, earlier you were a doctor sitting at home. Now you're a doctor with a certificate in your hand. So this is the difference. So, yeah, now, when you draw something, you know that why, according to the RI, the cleavage, the hardness, different components, that this is how the design is made. More practical knowledge after doing GI. So I feel that's very important. And definitely, the also thing which I learned was that there are some technical terms which GI teaches you, like, bluish green color, or maybe this is the as I just mentioned, or this is the hardness on Mohs scale. Now, when you're talking international clients, they don't understand if you're saying it is little blue in color or this is little hard. What do you mean by this is little hard? When you say it's 5 on Mohs scale, it's 6 on Mohs scale, they do understand that this person knows something because the technical language matches. So this is what GI did to us.
Great. Apart from the fact that GI gave you the sort of technical knowledge to be able to talk to different audiences around the world, the fact that GI also played a matchmaker is great. Thank you so much, Akriti, for sharing that. It's great that you met your husband at a GIA alumni meet. If I may ask, is he also an alumni?
Yes, yes,
Oh,
absolutely. By
great.
the name of
So
Prashant Surana. Yeah.
great. So, wow. I think this is just fabulous. And where did he complete his program
So
from?
he did his course from Carlsbad, California, but I did in Thailand. As I said, we met in a GI alumni meet. So
Oh, this is perfect. Eats meets West,
yes,
right?
yes.
And that happened in the heartland of Jaipur. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, Akriti, for sharing that. Akriti, I also wanted to understand a little bit more in terms of the technical knowledge. Uh, and considering that, when I look at the jewelry that you create in Caroline, I also want to understand how does that technical knowledge help in the creative process of jewelry designing, right? You said something about more scale and the hardness of certain gemstones. Does that impact your decisions on whether this is a colored stone that you want to create a collection with, or how does that go? If you can talk a little bit more about that.
So creativity, of course, depends because if you know that this is little bit softer stone, you will not do too much with that stone in terms of basil setting or something. You will just do like a prong setting. But in terms of also about the color also, like if you know that treating this stone to certain extent will give you this color. So this is what GI teaches you. So if you have a certain rough in your hand and you know that this is right now red in color, but I want little pinkish. So after doing certain treatment, I can get it pink also. So GI teaches you this also, because the GI teaches you about how this comes from the Mother Earth, the formation and everything. So you get to know the basics of each stones.
Yeah, and I'm sure that also helps not just in when you're creating these pieces, but also sourcing, right?
Absolutely.
I know you mentioned that there is a lot of stones that you would love to play around with the knowledge that you have, but understanding the technical aspects of it
Hmm.
also gives you the confidence that okay, when I go out and start sourcing these, you know exactly the right things to look out
True.
for. Uh,
True. Absolutely.
Great, great. Akriti, talk to us a little bit about since when your brand started, which I'm
Mhm.
thinking it is about 3 years old, right?
Yes.
Right. So since your brand started, talk to us about how it has evolved in terms of the design language, in terms of the customer base, and also the retail approach. Uh, have you
So
seen in the past 3 years that has evolved, that has changed, or is that something that I would still believe that because it's early years, is that
yeah.
something that you're still sort of figuring it out or understanding, what that is?
So Carillon is a very young brand, 3 years old, sorry, but having experience of course, so many different industries in my family only, I was actually benefited with this, the knowledge which I have, and we started with very minimalistic jewelry of all the colored gemstone, mixing and playing with different colors, of course. So that went very well, and it of course it has grown very rapidly in terms of eye catching eyeballs from the people, the target audience. It has a very large target audience. Of course, we are not only catering to certain age group, it's like very different age group as well. And the only thing which I have seen in these 2 3 years is that people, there is no gender based kind of a jewelry. It's like people are very open that about women jewelry and men jewelry. Men is also very open wearing a blue appetite. The same goes with the female jewelry as well. So this is a kind of difference we have seen. And there is no rigidness between minimalistic and maximalized jewelry. People are ready to wear both in different occasions, of course, and which we are offering also. And I started with women jewelry in Carillon for a few months. And later on, I realized doing men's jewelry, and men's jewelry came with a great force to us. And yeah, so that was quite motivating that we are doing definitely on the right channel, because it was quite motivating to do men's jewelry.
Uh,
So, yes.
Akriti, talk to us in terms of the agility that you had to sort of demonstrate, and maybe also talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced in growing this brand. And you mentioned that it has grown rapidly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about one, the sort of agility that you've had to maintain. I asked that primarily because I sense that when you started off, probably men's jewelry was not the top priority.
Correct. It was not there only on the platter, right? Yeah.
Right, but today you say that it does account for a certain
Yes.
of your inventory. So
Mm-hmm.
how were you able to adapt to this new need that sort of came in, and what were the
So,
challenges that you faced when you had to sort of
So
adapt to that?
starting men's jewelry was, to be very honest, was never my thought only. I was always doing female jewelry, and I was catering kind of my jewelry to movies also, like Bollywood production houses, be it Dharma, Yash Raj, and Bansali production. We did a lot of movies. So there was once a requirement from the production house that we want a men's jewelry. And instead of saying no, we said, okay, we can look for it. And that's when we started delivering. We started having this new thing on our menu, men's jewelry, which really went really, which literally like take off very quickly. So that's how men's jewelry start. And the thing which we are consistent about is I feel being there on different platforms, be it like, like you in today's time, I feel more important than, just the design is the availability of the design, availability of your product. So you have to be literally available now. Now, customers don't have so much of patience. They are very prompt buyers. So you have to be available like on we are there on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Walmart, Blinkit, Flipkart, Meesho, Ajio, literally like more or less everything in India, and of course in 17 countries, of course. So that is a different thing that whenever people think they want to buy jewelry, you should be there on literally all the platforms, whatever they can think of. So there is no escape route. Nowadays, people will not go to the retail store, buy, see, which is a piece, of maybe 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. They want to buy very quick. They're very impromptu buyers. And the kind of jewelry line which I am doing, I have seen that there is no trust or legacy or heritage is required. Okay, because in this kind of genre of jewelry, I'm not selling gold heavy jewelry that, I need to build trust of people and everything. In this kind of jewelry, it's more important to be right there, of course, first. And secondly, trendiest of designs. And third, I feel that more important is that people should believe that this is a trendiest uh, brand. That how Zara comes up with anything, and we feel that okay, that this is nice. I'm talking about Zara because that is little very available brand for everyone. It's not a very snob brand. Okay, I could have easily sent Louis Vuitton, but no, it's not for everyone. So I just feel that not too massy, but become a mass production, which is have a character of its own as well. So something like that. And the eyeballs which we got was totally because, in my case, was totally because of Bollywood. I feel lot of celebrities wearing the jewelry and everything. So people start believing that something you are doing right because of today. If Alia Bhatt, Deepika, Shah Rukh Khan, all these people are wearing your jewelry, so definitely this must be the trending jewelry. So they start buying your jewelry. So yeah, so kind of, I think we lugged it out in doing all this. Hmm.
That's quite sweet of you to say that you've blocked it out. But there is so many things that you said, Akriti, and I want to touch on each of these and build a little further. First of all, talk to us on how that sort of Bollywood connection happened, because I'm sure that has got you and the brand a lot of eyeballs, right? So talk to us about that, and I still want to sort of hear maybe any sort of challenges that you faced in your journey so far. And I'll tell you why I'm stressing a little bit on that, because
Mhm.
I hear everything that you're saying, and I feel that you were able to catch on to a trend. Uh, Again, going back to that men's jewelry example, and the fact that you had the conviction. Uh, One is, of course, you had the conviction, but at the back end, what really transpired is something that I want to understand. And this will really help a lot of people who are listening in, because many of our alumni may want to start out brands, or may want to, there are many alumni who are also not from the gem and jewelry background.
Yeah.
Uh, may want to understand, how do I go about it? Right. So please first talk to us about the Bollywood connection, how that has
Mhm.
happened, and what got you there. Uh, Also, any tips that anyone could learn from you, maybe from your experience as to what worked over there in terms of building those Bollywood connections, and to again little building on any challenges that you faced.
So Bollywood connection happened very genuinely very organically. I was once in a flight, and next to me was there was a girl who was a stylist, and she was styling this movie called Bajirao Mastani of Bansali production. and we happened to speak to each other. And I told her I'm doing this jewelry thing and just starting my own brand. She said, "Why don't you give the jewelry?" So I told her I am ready to give the jewelry, but I will be only giving you on the order basis, nothing on sponsorship or credit basis. So that's how the first business started rolling. I got the first order of 28,000 pieces for this movie Bajrao Mastani, and which was boom, of course, to this starting line. And so once I did this production house, I think it just, one big hit and you get more movies around. It's literally like the same concept. So one good production house and you get to meet more production houses. So that's how I got Yash Raj in hand, and Dharma in hand, and few other in hand, through stylist and everything. But till date, we are the organic marketing company. We haven't paid a penny to any of the celebrities, anything, nothing. And yeah, so that's how it started. Connections and connections. I think because otherwise you end up paying a very heavy amount if like. If you just scroll on our page, the amount of people who are wearing our jewelry, if you actually happen to pay them, you will not be making any profits only. It's there, it's too heavy. So I think it's only about good connections and everything, and having the good jewelry in hand. Only connections will not help also. Good products in hand will help you. And secondly, I think one more thing which played an important role was, like, if tomorrow there is a Tibetan movie jewelry which is coming up, which is a very different genre. So that you I our USP was basically that, okay, tomorrow you give me the order, I will deliver to you in a week's time. So this was the most important thing, because their air show time is very expensive. So they don't want to lose time. So this was one thing that, we could capitalize, having a manufacturing unit in hand, cutting and gemstone factory in hand. So we could actually capitalize this thing, that delivering very fast. And I think nowadays it's the catch. People don't even put brains on Amazon delivery. They really want to have Amazon Prime come to me next day. So that's how the market is. More conscious, of course, but very, very fast delivery in everything. They don't want to wait.
True, true, true. Very demanding in terms of uh,
Yeah.
this is when it needs to be delivered. Oh, wow. So 28,000
And the
pieces.
challenges part, of course, I yet to answer since you asked me twice.
Please.
Yeah, so challenges, I think, I think two challenges, which one, of course, I feel as a woman, it is little challenging to start any business in Indian society, especially. And also, I feel any girl you see in jewelry industry is by default a jewelry designer. I don't know why. They can't take any girl beyond jewelry designer. They think, oh, she is the one, so she's a jewelry designer. And honestly, I don't know how to sketch anything. I really can't draw anything. So people need to see beyond that. So it was difficult to deal with vendors and artisans and different wholesalers, because they used to think that she must be just doing as a hobby. Okay, so they used to just
Mm.
delay the work and everything. So that was a little challenging. You really have to prove yourself to make that possible. And secondly, I think was to start absolutely a new brand from scratch was a little challenging from start, because having my father's business, which was quite settled, having a husband business which is of course 300 years old, so leaving just these two aside and starting my own line was something I thought in my own mind is very challenging, that how will I um, give it a kick. But since there was no plan B for me, always a plan A, so probably I could focus. And yeah, I think Carillon journey has been literally as per the milestone as I have thought of. So luckily, it's been like that. So that was a little challenging initially, but once you know the game, you're in the system, you start knowing challenges every day they come. But Yeah, so that's
I'm
a part
sure.
of a thing. Yeah.
I'm sure, I'm sure. Wow, thank you, Akriti, for sharing the challenges that you face. And it still sort of surprises me when women talk about how difficult it is to start a business, to be part of the gem and jewelry industry. I do keep hearing certain inspiring stories as well, and yours is particularly inspiring as well. Uh, but it's sometimes very disheartening to hear sometime when some things like this happen, and the fact that women have to prove themselves over and over again to be able to be taken seriously. Thank you for sharing that, and also having the conviction and the courage to start your own brand. I think that also is very awe-inspiring. Uh, and love the fact how you said that all of the Bollywood sort of endorsement
Mhm.
is free. That I think is magical, and I think you will have more people reaching out to you saying that bhai ye kaise kiya.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's just the good product. Of course, in this saturated market, I feel good product is also very, very important because you don't know what is now the gap in the market because everything is delivered everywhere. So
hmm,
it's very important to know what you can offer now because from any price points, you get everything now. So it's literally how I feel nowadays it's more about experience, the storytelling, the way you're delivering, how fast you deliver. As I mentioned,
hmm.
it's small points which just
It's
makes
a
the customer feels better. That's all.
yeah. Overall, that's what gives a great brand experience. Akriti, you just sort of hit the nail in the head because I wanted to talk a little bit about two of your main promises. One, you said कुछ तो trendy हमेशा होना चाहिए, right? So
Mm.
there is something trendy. Uh, Second, you mentioned that your brand is practically available on all of these platforms,
True.
right? So elaborate a little bit on, imagine I'm starting a new brand, all right? Something similar to Carillon. And how would I go about one being available on all these platforms? And two, how do I make sure that what I am creating is trendy? How do you keep up?
So uh, first, I think it's your own choice. I think one definitely your own choice also matters. That if I would really like to wear this pairing up with this, will I really wear this? Then I should offer the audience. If I am not okay, how can I offer this? It's okay. One is that. Secondly, I feel that you have to really look around what's happening in the world. We are lucky or unfortunate, both the ways, that we are in India, sitting whose fashion comes little later than Italy and Japan. So in that ways, you can call it fortunate, unfortunate, however. But so you need to see what is happening in Paris Fashion Week or London Fashion Week or Milan Fashion Week. What is the the colors which are moving around? Then you have to incorporate in your same business. And so that's about it. Like suppose if tomorrow there is that France show, which is it called? I'm forgetting the name. The which happens every year.
Which
So
ends
something like
talking about?
Cannes Festival or
Yeah.
like Met Gala, something like that. So if my jewelry is worn somebody in Met Gala, it catches the eyeball. People know, oh, this is going international also. This has an international taste as well. So you have to keep up with the market. India Indians basically look up to the brands which have local touch but international thinking.
Hmm.
So you have to keep
Quite
up
a
with that
unique
as well.
mix.
So
Yeah.
you, if I'm participating tomorrow in Lakme Fashion Week, of course that will work, but it will not really work. I feel it will only work if tomorrow I'm participating in Met Gala, making somebody wear. I'm participating in Cannes Fashion Week or London Fashion Week or Paris Fashion Week. So people know, oh, this is something the brand making noise, too much noise, and then you're making the Indian celebrities also wear your jewelry. So I think you need to know the trends, basically.
Interesting, interesting. Uh, I want to go a little different this time, and I want to ask you, how do you adapt to the changing needs of this modern jewelry consumer? One, they need everything quickly. Two, they need it to be trendy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so this ultra hyper online consumer, how do you cater to that, and what are your key lessons in sort of adapting to these needs? And also, if I may build on and ask you, Akriti, where do you see this heading?
Where do I see this heading? In this AI world, I don't know where this will head, but it's really looks like it's like a rush of a wind. Like every time something new comes up, new applications and Instagram and website and everything. But I think it's good also. It's very healthy. There are so many mediums you can sell your jewelry. So it's not a very, if you have a very good product in hand with a very good price point, I really feel it's very easy to do all this stuff in today's world because you have so many mediums to sell your jewelry. Rather, we are very fortunate that there are so many things. So it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty sorted. Of course, you have your people in hand who will be doing all this. So, yeah,
Great.
people are also moving towards very sustainable jewelry, carbon neutral brands. This is another thing which we are seeing in the market. And as a jewelry brand, we don't promise as a 100% sustainable jewelry brand, but we do, of course, a bit of it, like less using plastic, more using of paper packaging, sourcing of gemstones from an ethical route is again a very sustainable part of it. So these are something which you can do as a brand.
Great. You have again hinted me towards my next question. I wanted to ask you, is sustainability a consideration in your sourcing and production? And if so, how are you approaching it on Carolon? So from an ethical and sustainable point of view, Akriti, how do you go about understanding that? And second, how do you convey that to consumers who are primarily buying online?
Uh, you don't have to see because it's online, so it's really difficult for a one-to-one face talk or something. Because in retail, it's literally easy. Online, they just read, either they enter or they exit. So online is a very different thing. So you have to be very conscious in the text you're writing in online. If it's sustainable, how it is sustainable. So, are you reusing the metal? That's why you're saying sustainable. You're not wasting more of metal. So, something like that. People are very okay to, mix and match different metals these days. They are not very reluctant that it should be pure silver or no silver with stainless steel, no silver with brass. This is another trend which we're seeing. So, that is also okay. So, mixing of metals is also fine. And yes, so that's how you get the audience back.
Interesting. And what, according to you, Akriti, you mentioned about these different metal choices that are sort of
Yeah.
trending, right? If I were to ask you, what are the top three trends, not just for 2025, but maybe for a couple of years, uh,
Mm-hmm.
what would you think would they be? And let me also sort of narrow it down for you, because I know it's a large canvas to ask you what are the top three trends in the next 2 3 years. Um, but I'm particularly sort of approaching it from the angle of any sort of particularly new gemstones or new gem materials, anything on new metals, or anything in terms of jewelry design sort of areas. If you're do you have any particular trends that you are seeing are likely to catch up?
So, metals, since we are not doing gold, and apart from gold, I see we started with silver, but we are now into more of brass and stainless steel jewelry as well. Okay, is which is of course very wide range for the people. And apart from that, gemstones, which I'm looking for different color palette, is more of a blue apatite color mixing with citrine, yellow and blue. Very fresh, summery kind of colors, like very Italian kind of colors, yellow and very turk blue. So that is a new trend which we are seeing in the market.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. Uh, Akriti, what advice would you give to young jewelry designers and or entrepreneurs who are looking to build a brand which hopefully resembles the sort of path that you have taken on at Carolon?
Oh my God, advice. It's just too soon to give anybody some advice. But I think one is, of course, be consistent. I really think consistency is genuinely the key because I think for me, I'm saying because I was never too consistent in doing something. Sometimes doing Jadao, sometimes doing my father's business, sometimes doing my sister's business. So doing everything, of course, gave me a lot of experience, but I was never too consistent. Once I thought that I have to be consistent in doing this, I started gaining response. So this is where I lagged also, and that's how I learned also that this really works. Initially you may feel some failures in something, but it's like you have to keep on going on the road you have taken. So consistency is the key. Secondly, I feel more focus should be there on the product you're getting for the people, because you have to get something new. It can't be the old same thing with different packaging. That will really not work in today's market. People are very alert, very aware, very conscious. So only the packaging will not work. You have to get something on the product also. So these two things are, I think, very important. And of course, third, which I really feel is manifest. So, yeah, which will
Beautiful.
really get the balls rolling.
Yeah, and I sort of echo everything that you said, especially when you said about manifestation. And I love how you said that, each of these milestones that you had thought of are something that you've been able to
Taste and then say, of course.
right, right.
Yes.
But you really have to manifest it, right? I think that's one of the
Yeah.
key
That's
things.
like a sideline journey. But this is, of course, that's how it just, that's my faith, which I feel. Yeah.
Great. But also, I love the fact that you acknowledge that there was certainly a sort of phase where you were not really sure what is going to work for you. But
Hmm.
that's something that was also a journey. That was also something that
Yeah.
you were able to learn something from it, quickly sort of come back to, okay, this is what my forte is, and build on that.
True.
Thank you so much, Akriti, for sharing everything that you have. Uh, I have a couple of questions. These are slightly on the lighter note, right?
Okay.
One, uh, I want you to reflect back on your GIA on-campus experience back in
Hmm.
Bangkok, Thailand, and if you can maybe share a few memories of uh,
Hmm.
well, you can also tell us how good of a student were you? Were you notorious? Were you noisy? Were you talkative? Were you attentive? Were you one of those studious ones? And tell us if there is any sort of story that you're reminded of from your Bangkok days.
Um, okay, so it was definitely the most memorable experience, 100%. Not that I'm on the GI platform, that's why I'm saying this, but to be very honest, it was. And I think I no, I was a quite attentive student. I feel not too notorious, which I was forever. I think in school also I was like this. I was never on the naughtier side or the backbencher, always on the first row rather. So, yeah, but although never used to get so much of grades, that is a different story. But tried to be on the first bench. So, but GI was a different thing. GI, I actually scored really well. I actually topped in the graduate diamond course, which was featured in your GI Loop magazine as well in 2008 or 9, not too sure, but yeah.
Beautiful.
So GI was a very, very good experience. Learning something, learning a bit in Thai, a bit in English, in that Thai accent was also very interesting. Yeah, so it was beautiful.
And by any chance, are you in touch with some of your
Of course, of
colleagues?
course. Yeah, of course, we are in touch. Absolutely.
Great, great, great. And last question, again on a lighter note. Akriti, you mentioned very early on in your response that your mother sort of pushed you into the jewelry industry. Imagine she hadn't, and you had the choice of choosing a different career. What do you
Okay.
think would it be?
Into Bollywood. Totally.
Great, great. I
I rather
You ended
filled
up
the
there
Whistling
eventually,
Woods.
right?
Rather, I filled the Whistling Woods form, which is like an acting school in Bombay. But my father said, no, 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 this is all rubbish. What acting? What this film industry? No point of going into this industry. So I think my dreams were not fulfilled there. So I'm kind of fulfilling here by making these celebrities wear the jewelry. So yeah.
Manifestation.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Akriti. I had
Thank
lovely
you. Thank you, Shiv.
chatting with you.